Auntie, thank you for doing the interview with us. Auntie, can you tell us what your name is?
My name is Nadia Hanania. My maiden name is Nadia Agal. And I got married 1961. And I grew up, of course, in Ramallah. I was almost 17 when I got married, but I graduated from the Friends Girls School. And shortly after, I came to the U.S., to Detroit, and I've been in Detroit since.
Since
1961.
Since 1961.
Yes.
And what's your birthday, Auntie? What's your birthday?
My birthday is August 30th, 1944.
1944. That was a good year.
How did I get here?
No, I said that was a good year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was a good year because you were born.
Okay, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. You're going to cut all this, right?
What neighborhood in Ramallah did you live in?
I lived about a mile away from the Manara. My father's house was there. And by chance, the person, Fuad, my husband, the person I married, lives just down the street from my father's house. So it's very close to the Ramallah Manara.
And what was your parents' names?
Mahfouz and Olympia Agal.
And how many siblings did you have?
Siblings? I had, we were 6 sisters and 2 brothers, and I am the oldest of all of them.
You're the
I'm the oldest.
You're
Yes,
the oldest.
yes.
Did you like being the oldest? Did you like you were in charge of all of them?
My grandmother had only one child, my father, and she treated me like royalty. My grandmother.
You were spoiled.
Oh, I was extremely spoiled. If I had too much to study and too much to do at school, she'll tell me, just go to sleep. I'll wake you up in the morning. And she will come with a cup of coffee, wake me up so I'll study in the morning.
Oh, that's so nice. What was your childhood like? Was it fun? Did you have fun with everyone?
Oh, it was the most wonderful time of anybody's. I went to the girls' school, like I said, to the Friends Girls' School, and we were a bunch of girls. We started together since kindergarten till graduation, and we used to have so much fun. Go to Rukab after school, go to the movies, and the school was also wonderful. They used to take us on field trip. We went to Patra, and one thing that was very, very special to me, the teacher used to take us to the Hawakir, the fields around and about Ramallah, and we would pick the wildflowers, the anemones, the ABC. It was just amazing childhood.
What was your favorite field trip that you went on with the school?
I think Patra.
That's right.
Patra, because we walked a lot. Most of our teachers were Quakers from the U.S., and every subject we took was in English. And one of our teachers that went with us to the field trip to Patra, her name was Mrs. Lois Snyder, and she told us to bring 5 pounds of hard candy because we were going to walk a lot. Ala Wadi Ram and Patra, and it's hot, and it was the most beautiful trip. And then I came home and they told me, you're getting married.
Oh, wow. It was almost like a bribe. You went to go on vacation and then you got married afterwards.
Yes. We had 3 months to graduate, and my father, he said, no, she has to graduate. I was a good student, and so I graduated. I didn't get married right away within a week, like they used to do that before. So I waited 3 months and we got married. And the 2nd of July, actually, tomorrow would be, but my husband is deceased. He passed away 32 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Allah Yaslamak.
And did you ever have any kind of dream before you got married to go like into further schooling or?
Actually, I was a good student, like I said, especially in math and chemistry and all that. And the teacher I just mentioned, she got me a scholarship to the AUB. All my classmates, well-to-do families, and so she got me a scholarship to the AUB, and you wouldn't believe how bad I felt when they said, no, you have to get married. But I mean, but he was a great, great man. He's a good man, and I'm lucky. We had 5 children, and right now I have 13 grandchildren.
That's incredible.
Yes, but I did wanted to go to college, but I didn't have a chance. That's okay. The education I got from the French school was just so solid. It's a great base to build on. And living life, you build on your education, and I'm good. I didn't have to be a lawyer or an engineer or anything.
Absolutely.
I was a great mother. Thank you.
Absolutely. And did you know your husband before you got married to him?
No.
You didn't know of him before?
No, he came to attend his brother's wedding, Ibrahim Hanania, the founder of Al-Kulliya Al-Ahliya in Ramallah. And his mother said, okay, since you're here, you're getting married.
So he had no option either?
No. I mean, they showed me to him, I guess, walking back and forth to school. And he agreed, but that's the way it used to be. I mean, I can't say otherwise. It used to be like that. But if my father agreed for me to go to college, then who knows where we'd have been. But I was very lucky. He's a good man, and we had a wonderful life together.
I would say he's the lucky one.
He?
I would say he's the lucky one.
Me too, believe me. Thank you.
And you said you had 5 kids?
Yes.
5 kids.
Robert actually is in the meeting right now, my son, and I have 4 daughters. And my oldest is Kathy Harb, the one that, works for the AFRP. Yeah. And then I have Joanne, Julie, and my youngest is Sandy. Hopefully today you'll all meet them if you're going to be here, because they're all coming to the fashion show.
Wonderful. And what was coming to the States like? Did it feel completely different? Did you like life better in Ramallah, or did you like it here more?
Well, of course. It's natural that, you get pulled out of your hometown, your school friends, your relatives, your hara, your neighborhood. But I was also lucky that I knew how to read, write, and speak English. So I got along very well here with the people who speak English. And there was a few Arab, but not too much of my relatives, And I managed it. It was good. Yeah, I managed.
Awesome. And let's go back a little bit to your childhood. Do you have any good memories with your... did you say you had your grandmother? Were your other grandparents, were they alive as well, or?
Only my mother's parents, her father was an Orthodox priest, but only his wife was alive. I don't know him. He passed away before my mother got married. But she was involved with, but I was much more closer to my fraternal grandmother, to my father's mom. Yes.
And do you have any fond memories of her?
Of course. She spoiled me. I was always her favorite. And my grandfather, he was in the States. He came back, and they both were wonderful because, like I said, she only had one son, and she wanted girls and boys or whatever. God gave her 6 girls and 2 boys as grandchildren. Yeah.
And was she traditional? Did she like to wear the thobe like you do now?
Yes, she wore the thobe. And as a young, I got married at almost 17. As a young one, I used to teach. My uncle used to have a Baptist church right across the street from my father's house. And he used to let me teach, and I will get like half a lira, what do you call it in English? Whatever, lira, a week. So I saved it, and I bought a piece of material for my grandmother to make a thobe. and now I have it, but this is not it.
It's not the one?
No,
it's
that's
still
not.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Did you make this one?
No, I bought it. 2014, I went to the convention with the federation to Ramallah, and I bought it.
That's
Yes.
wonderful. And what were your parents like? What was it like growing up with them?
My mother was a quiet, timid woman, having kids all the time and always busy. And my father was he worked with a jeweler and like a money changer, because over there, a lot of them used to be in the U.S. and then you have to change the money to the Jordanian. We used to use the Jordanian, what do you call it? Money, mint, whatever, I don't know what you call it.
The dinar.
The dinar, the piaster, the tarife, the Jordanian currency. So he was always hardworking, loving father. I could say that easily, that I never asked for anything reasonable, and he said no. He was a very reasonable man. My grandfather was in the U.S. He was a little bit more stricter than my father. Yes.
Usually it goes less strict as the generations go down.
Yeah.
So what was it like living in Ramallah? Did you feel like it was safe?
Absolutely. We had no trouble. At that time, we were joined. When I was born, 44, 48 is when the Nakba happened. And I shouldn't speak in Arabic, huh?
Of course, no, speaking Arabic,
Okay.
that's fine.
كل اللاجئين اللي هاجروا من اللد والرملة, they were all in Ramallah. And what was the question? Senior moment.
What was growing up in Ramallah like, and was it safe?
Yes. So it was really, really safe. We used to go wherever we want. We could stay, not, of course, reasonably in Ramallah. You can't stay out too late. But we never felt any danger because the Jews were not there. It wasn't under occupation. It was under King Hussein. And we used to, the Muslims and the Christian, half of my classmates were Muslims, and we were very, very close, very, very tight. There was no friction like now I hear in Lebanon. It's just terrible between the two parties. We get along with our Muslims, neighbors, friends, everything. We really got along well.
And how do you think the Nakba affected maybe the way you grew up, or did it not affect Ramallah at all, other than the refugees that came from Jaffa and Ramallah?
I didn't know any better. I grew up with it happened. It already happened. I was born 44 and it happened 48. I was 4 years old. And that's how I grew. I didn't know any better. But when I got married, my mother-in-law used to tell me how they used to own stores in Jerusalem, imarat in Jerusalem, big buildings, all that, and it was all gone. It was all gone because half of Jerusalem was with the Israelis and half was with us. But we were free to go to Bethlehem, to the Mahed. We were free to go to the Holy Sepulchre Church. We were free to go everywhere. Not now, I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you go to cities like Nazareth? Did you ever go to Haifa? Or was that part off limits when you were growing up?
That was off limit.
Yeah.
Off limit. The most we can go is Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and the school used to take us there too, a lot of time. But when I was young, actually, my father worked in Jerusalem. His money changing shop was in Jerusalem. So being the oldest, they used to give me a little bit of money around Christmas. I would go with him to Jerusalem and go buy little trinkets for my brothers and sisters, and that made me feel big.
Yeah. And when you went to Jerusalem, did your father, he had a car, you used to go back and forth, or did you
No.
go on the bus?
There was no cars in Ramallah, hardly any. But my best friend, Nadia Mikhail, she's my maid of honor. She's Hanan Ashrawi's sister, actually.
Yes.
Okay. Her father has a car. And if it's raining, they would used to come. Their house wasn't too far. It was next to the Manara and very close to my father's house. They used to come pick me up. But my father did not have a car. He would go in the bus to Jerusalem.
And that didn't take too long. What was it, like half an hour or?
It's 7 miles. And there was no checkpoints, nothing. You just go straight and you're right there.
Everything was easier back then.
So much easier, yes.
And let's see. I'm sorry. Let me think of a question to ask you. What was your let's see. What was your favorite thing to do with your friends?
We used to go to Rukab a lot. And when we graduated, I told you I got engaged 3 months before we graduated. We had a huge plan to go to Rukab afterward and celebrate. This time the boys with the girls, because it was it wasn't a co-ed, and I was looking forward to going with them. Then Fuad comes and he goes, "Nope, you're coming with me." And now I see pictures sometimes, my friends from Amman and from all over, they post pictures of old times and I say, "Hey, where was I over here?" One of them said, "Fuad came and cooked you." Well, yeah, so, but it was big deal when you go to the movies and to go after school to Rukab and hang around for an hour. And there wasn't much entertainment, but it was just wonderful. I don't know.
Ramallah was a nice place to be.
Very nice place to be.
Do you wish it stayed the same rather than how it looks now?
You know what? The other day I was writing on Facebook about that. Now all you see is tall buildings, and before it used to be trees and flowers, but this is progress. What are you gonna do?
I know.
And it has much, much more people around, and it used to be clean, fresh air, beautiful.
Now all you smell is gasoline. That's it.
And well, I'm not gonna say it.
Have you been since 2014, or was 2014 the last time?
That was the last time. But when my mother was alive, I used to go like almost every 5 years. But the first time I ever went since I got married and came here was 17 years later, because I had all those kids, and how can I leave them? But Kathy was about maybe 16, 15. My father was he was very sick, and I decided I want to go and see him. I went by myself. And that's the first time I went after 17 years being in the U.S. And the last time was 2014, I went with the convention. And in between, I went a few times.
And do you guys still have your house there? Your house, do you guys still have a house in Ramallah?
My husband had a couple of houses. They sold one, and the other one is still there. My father's house is still there, yes. Hanna, my brother, he owned it with my other brother, because the girls didn't get anything done.
So your parents, they stayed in Ramallah, they never left. Did they ever want to leave, or did they want to stay in?
My father, he came. He was older, I was married and all that. He came to the U.S., he really did not like it. He was an only child, spoiled. That's not the reason. He just didn't like it at all. Yeah, by himself, without his wife and the other kids. It was
felt
hard.
like a different world.
Yes.
It's a lot harder when you come here older. It's easier when you're younger.
For sure. Yes.
So what was it like when you said you came to Detroit?
Yes, I came straight to Detroit.
So what was it like transitioning from Ramallah to Detroit?
In the beginning, it was hard. You miss everybody there, and you sit at home, your husband would go to work, and you sit at home by your, not by yourself, but quite still, It wasn't easy, but like I said, I used to speak good English, and I didn't have any problem communicating with the neighbors or if I go to the store. Everything used to be walking distance when we lived in Detroit. Now you have to have a car if you need anything from the drugstore.
And when your kids were growing up, would you speak Arabic to them, or did you speak mostly in English?
Okay, this is the problem. I didn't teach them one word of Arabic. Even right now, it's hard for me to speak the whole time in Arabic. I just find myself going to the English right away. But in Ramallah also, like I said, all my teachers were American, and we had to communicate with them in English, and all our subjects were in English. Chemistry, mathematics, history, everything was in English except Arabic language and the Arabic history and the Arabic poetry and all that. Otherwise, everything was in English, everything. Yeah, so I didn't have trouble speaking English, and I never spoke Arabic with them, and now they all yell at me. Why didn't you? They want to speak Arabic.
Did you do it on purpose, or
No.
Just because
No,
they lived here? Then
just
you
the
should-
way it is, yes. Like I said, I was 17, and I knew how to speak English, so it just came naturally, and I never spoke Arabic in the house.
Right. And was your husband, was he a lot older than you, or was he closer in age?
No, he was about 6 years older than me. Not too much, but yeah, older. Yeah, maybe even 7. I can't remember.
And what was it like living in Detroit? You said there wasn't a lot of Arab that lived here at the time. When did it really start to see more of influx of Arab here?
Okay. It wasn't too many, but there was, enough. On Sunday, we used to go picnic to Belle Isle, and everybody would look forward to that. And you take whatever you want to grill on the grill and eat it together, and we'll slice watermelons. And it was fun, on Sunday only. Yeah.
And living in the U.S., did you do a lot of traveling inside the U.S.?
Not at all. Because, like I said, nobody had too much money at that point. And especially when you have 5 children, we used to go a lot to northern Michigan, to Traverse City. We used to rent a cottage and go especially during the cherry festival, the cherry season. And it was and then there's beaches there for the kids. But outside Michigan, we didn't travel too much. Now, of course, we do, but yeah.
It's a lot easier now.
Yes.
So what's one thing you would like to tell for the Ramallah youth or the future generations? Like, what's a piece of advice you can give them about growing up Palestinian?
Do not get swerved into the ways and means that are not really, Go to church. It's very, very important. Because they don't teach you anything in school anymore. Go to church, listen, and the right road is always better than getting entangled with the wrong people or the wrong, I think that's important for the young people to know.
Absolutely. So tell us a fun fact about yourself. What's maybe a hobby that you like to do? What's something that you love?
I read a lot. I always read a lot. When the kids get too much, I would take my book and go on the back porch and read. And I still read, but when I joined Facebook, It was heaven for me. I have so many friends that I still, till this day, I never met, but we are really, really close. From Bethlehem, one of them live in France, one of them live in the Netherlands, one of them in Germany, and I mean, we're very close, and we call each other a lot. Thank God for WhatsApp and Messenger and whatever. Some of them I never met. One woman who lived in France, we traveled to Italy, and she came from France, flew to Italy to meet me.
Wow.
My sisters were with me because we went on a and they said, she's invisible, she's not right, she's just somebody who's, but she came. They said she's never gonna come, but she came.
That must have been cool to see each other.
It was so nice. It was so nice to meet her finally.
It's nice to see that social media, it connects people. You can make new friendships even if you never met them before.
Absolutely. When we first started with the social media, one of my classmates put pictures when we were little in the front school, and everybody who was in class with us and got into Facebook reacted. And one person said, oh my God, thank God for social media. It connected us all back together, which is true. Now I speak with people from Amman that graduated with me. I have a picture of in Mr. Zaru chemistry class at the front school. I posted it, and I was flooded. Everybody reacted, and we started talking again. And I like it, but some people really don't like Facebook for some reason. I don't know why, but I like it.
It has a lot of people don't like it for one reason, but a lot of people use it for the reason like you do. You connect with your old friends. You can see old pictures.
Yes.
It's a good place to have memories.
Yes. In that case, it was very, very helpful to me, especially after my husband died. Well, after my husband died, actually, I went to work. One of my daughters used to work in the human resources at Michigan National Bank. And she said, come on, you're not sitting home moping all day long. You are coming to work. I said, I don't know anything about banking. I don't know anything about computers. She said, no, you're gonna, So she interviewed me, not her colleagues interviewed me, and they hired me. They trained me for about, I don't know, a month or 2 months. And I lasted with them for 15 years.
So
I worked for the bank for 15 years. It did me so much good. I felt good about myself. I learned things. I made new friends, and it was really good.
Was that your first job?
Actually, when my husband was alive, I went and took courses in dental assisting, and I worked for a dentist. But I didn't like it. No. Even now, 3 of my grandkids want to be dentists. One already graduated.
That's incredible. And what did your husband do for a living?
My husband, he was, in the olden times when they used to come here, they used to peddle. So that's what he did.
Is that what he did up until he passed away?
Yeah, he worked for the insurance company for a while, but he wanted to be on his own. If he wants to go work, he will. If he doesn't, he doesn't. That's what he did.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Auntie. I just wanted to thank you for doing the interview with us. You look wonderful. You did an excellent job.
I did.
And I hope you like the video that we end up posting.
I hope so.